Welcome to Introduction to Marketing. This is lesson 10, and in many ways this is lesson 10, 11, 12 sort of back to back with their importance, because this really is the most important part of the training, these next 3 lessons. We're talking about testing, and specifically we're talking about the testing mindset that you need to have, plus what you should test. So why am I saying that testing is so important? Well, let's go back to it again and have a look. We are looking at 2 things. We're looking at a mindset, so the way you think about testing, and then actually what you should be doing itself, all right? And there are 2 types of testing. Okay, there is number 1, the testing of ideas, which is very, very important. And then next, there is the testing of the existing marketing. So you have an idea, and then you put it to play, and then you test that itself. Now, the testing of ideas needs to be ongoing. The beautiful thing about entrepreneurs and creative people is that they've always got ideas. Hey, we should try this, we should try that, we should try this, we should try that. And you know what? You are 100% correct. You must try all those things. However, they need to be done as soon as possible. It needs to be done quickly. One of the biggest problems I see is so many people have an idea and think, okay, look, we'll try that next time, or we'll try that. And there's just too much of a delay between having an idea and seeing whether it will work. So that's the testing of ideas. And when you do that, and if you can do it quickly, you'll either discard the idea, you'll say, no, it didn't work, or you iterate it. You get a bit of traction, you get a bit of feedback, and you decide to step it up. But you must always test first. Don't leap before you test, all right? This is an area here where on one side I'm saying, look, you need to make these decisions very quickly, and on the other I'm saying, but you must test. You must keep it relatively small before you then look to scale up. And this is a great example of what I'm talking about. Just very quickly, this is a rate card for some printing, and if you're going to have some lovely looking glossy leaflets printed for you, the arrow on top there that says £65.70, that is for 500, okay? And then if you move a bit further down, you will see for 5,000 it's just another £70. So automatically someone might think, look, let me go for those 5,000 because I'll save so much money by doing that. But this is the thing. If you haven't tested small first, you might have 5,000, send them all out, and they will not work. Now, this is all relative. Sometimes you'll get an organization where 5,000 may be their initial test. But for the smaller business, sometimes it may be well worth just going for 500 and actually sending them out, and 500 of a different kind. When you see what works, you can then look to consider to go up, but always test first. Don't automatically. It's similar to the sort of previous lessons that I'd spoken about media. This is a great example. Someone will come to you and they'll say, well, listen, if you buy 500 it's this, but if you buy 5,000 we can do it for that. And straight away you say, let me go for it. But I'm saying you need to test first before scaling up. And then once you have proof of concept, once you have you've had an idea, you've tested it, and you've seen some traction, that's when you create what we like to call a control. Okay, a control is nothing more than just an initial piece of marketing or advertising that you are using in real time, in the real world, at the coalface. So therefore you create your control. And then once you create your control, you try to beat it. So as you see here, you see an A, and just slightly different color, slightly different layout maybe, okay? And then you have a variation. You try and beat it. As the savvy direct marketer says, Brian Kurtz, he says, the control is your enemy. And what he means by that is that you're always working against it, trying to beat it. So some of the things that you can test, obviously it's the product or the service or the program that you're offering. The price, the way the price is offered. Is it a flat fee? Is it half now, half later? Is it pay nothing and then pay the rest in 30 days? Or how does it work? You keep testing those. The media platform, are you going to put it online or are you going to put it offline? Are you going to have a text only sales letter or are you going to have one of those video sales letters? Target audience. Sometimes you might have a product or service or program that has not worked to one audience and then it just works so well to another. So you must test that. And then of course the creative, how it looks, the headline, the buy now box, and also the different materials that you are using. Okay, so test these against your enemy, the control. And be okay. We're going to move back over onto the mindset sort of things about a lot of your marketing not working. Now, the man on the right hand side of this picture who is interviewing Sir Richard Branson is Eben Pagan. And Eben is a very, very astute businessman and entrepreneur who has sold over $100 million of products and training. And about being okay about your marketing, a lot of your marketing not working, Eben says expect at least 80% of your advertising and marketing tests to fail. Now notice he says marketing tests. So this is when you get an idea and you say, let me try that, let me put it out there. And he's saying for every 10 you put up, expect 8 not to work. So why would you do that? Why would you think that way? Well, Eben says, we are not trying to win a coin flip. We are drilling for oil. So what he says is that when you get the right offer at the right price on the right platform to the right person with the right terms, this is when some amazing things can really happen. And all these little tests that you're doing and tweaks, don't look at it like you're flipping a coin. Look at it like you're really drilling for oil, because the handful of successful ones you do have, those 2 out of 10 that do work will pay off big time. And this is why it's so important to be okay in your mind about 80% not working. And it's also why it is so vital that you do these things as soon as possible. They need to be done very, very quickly, and then you can just sort of continue with your drilling. Alright, so that was the first of this almost mini 3. In the next lesson, lesson 11, we are going to be talking about the importance of tracking your marketing.